I want to give you a tour of my bookshelf. I mentioned doing that many weeks ago, and I just haven't done it yet. And since we're moving, I'm going to have to pack everything up, so why not? It might be a rocky few weeks as we are getting ready to move. I will continue to try to get content up, but also I hope that you'll be understanding of this mighty change. Before we get into the video, make sure that you subscribe. I appreciate your support. Let's start the bookshelf tour. I was gonna use my tripod for this so that it would be less shaky because I have incredibly shaky hands for some reason. Low blood sugar, probably. I can't find my little tripod. It might still be in a suitcase. So, let's do this thing. A lot of people have their bookshelves organized by author, or genre, or release date. I have my shelf organized mostly by favorites, actually. From top to bottom. I'm sorry about the weird lighting. My filling lamp is down there. So first up we have the Ender's Game series by Orson Scott Card. There are currently 16 books in this series. We are waiting on one final that will conclude here and another prequel trilogy. One is already out, but I want to wait till I can get the box set. Ender's Game here, this was one of the first books that ever made me fall in love with reading. My mom bought it for me, this really awesome hardcover version of it that I can't really find anywhere else anymore. And I remember sitting on my yellow bed in my yellow room over the summer, just completely absorbed in it. And then I went and I bought the next one, and then I bought the next two, and then I bought the rest of the series. Orson Scott Card wrote these in the 80s, and they are still so good. I read them every year, all 16 of them, and I will never be tired of them. I would say the first one is obviously the first one's my very favorite. I really like this one. Shadow of the Giant's really good. They're just, they're so good. They're science fiction, and they're my very favorite series in the whole world. This is a model of the SR-71 Blackbird. It's my very favorite plane. There is one at the airbase that we live next to that is in the museum there. Next to that we have Twilight. I love Twilight. I've mentioned that several times on my channel. I'm currently reading Eclipse. This is just the dust jacket. I read Twilight when it first came out. I think I was in 8th grade, and I read it during silent sustained reading or whatever that we had. We had like 20 minutes dedicated reading time in junior high. And I was like, oh, those are cool. And then everyone made fun of them, and I was like, oh man, I don't like that anymore. And then, sorry, this hand's so shaky. I wish I had my tripod so I wasn't, like... When we were living in our last apartment, I watched Twilight. I hadn't seen the movie in a really long time, and it was on Netflix. So I watched it on Netflix, and then I immediately bought all the movies, and then I went down to my mom's house, and I picked all these up because they were still there. And I've added 2 more since originally. Life and Death is really interesting. It's Twilight reimagined, clearly, as it says here. It's almost the exact same story as Twilight, but everything is gender swapped. So instead of Edward, you have Edith, and instead of Bella, you have Beau, and every character is gender swapped except for Charlie and Renee, and Renee's husband. It's very interesting. I really liked it. And then The Host and The Chemist. I haven't read The Chemist yet, but I loved The Host. It's supposed to be a trilogy, so we're still waiting on those from Stephanie Meyer. And this is my little Edward figurine. He actually glitters in good light. See, you can kind of see a little of the sparkle. I really like it. The first Twilight soundtrack is here. Those are my top 2 favorite series of all time. I love them. And so the next shelf down, we're going to move from left to right. We have the Hunger Games series and the Divergent series. I really enjoyed this series. I've read it twice. I hate how the book ends. I hate how the 3rd one ends. I feel like it was an unnecessary and heartbreaking ending. This one is some small short stories from one of the main characters. This is my John Green collection. I love John Green. My favorite one is definitely Turtles All the Way Down. That came out last year. It's about a girl with OCD, and it was very relatable for me. The Uglies series, I loved these books in junior high, and I had all of them originally in their original covers. Those, I don't know if we donated them or something, but I ordered them again, and I really liked them. It's kind of a dystopian society. I read a lot of dystopian teen fiction, like here, and I like dystopian teen fiction, and these are really, really good. And I think Scott Westerfeld is coming out with another one. I'm pretty sure that we're getting an addition to the Ugly series. And next, we have my well-worn, well-loved Harry Potter series. I know people will fight me if I say that I prefer Twilight over Harry Potter, but I do, and that's my opinion, and I'll fight you back. So, anyway, the first 4 are soft covers, and then the last 3 are hard covers. This one was in my backpack when I was in elementary school, and a juice box exploded on it in the backpack, and so some of the pages are pink. Like right here, there's some pink, and the end of the book is really warped. Anyway, it's well loved, a little warped. I would love to get a collector's set of them and get them all in hardcover with dust jackets, but that's like $250. I don't have money for that. I haven't read The Cursed Child. I like how my head continues the Harry Potter story after Deathly Hallows. I know that's not canon, but I don't know. And people have agreed with me. People that have read it have said, they can understand that. And then these two. For my decorations, I have one of these willow tree angels reading a book, a jump drive with the project I didn't do for my mom. Oops. My 2 favorite candies. I don't know why exactly those are there. This turtle is from Jamaica. Devin and I got it while we were there for our honeymoon, and it's in front of my Turtles All the Way Down book. It's one of my favorite play-ons. And then I have this little stopwatch from the Full Metal Alchemist series. It doesn't work, but I really, really like it. Devin's got one too. He bought us 2 at the same time. I mean, it used to work, and if I changed the batteries, it would work. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is the best one. And coming down, we have my Halo shelf. I've got many little figurines. Devin has purchased these for me. Oh, Chief. When I was in college and we were kind of friends, he surprised me. My first year of college, he surprised me and filled my room with candy and streamers and posters and a couple Halo figurines. I thought it was weird at the time that my roommates had let him in. Whatever, it's neither here nor there. So we have there are a lot of more Halo books that we don't have yet. The Fall of Reach is my favorite. 343 has decided that the books are no longer canon, which is sad because the books are excellent. I really liked Contact Harvest, and the 4 original ones were great. These ones were confusing to me. I haven't read all of these ones. I mean to, but I have not gotten to them yet. I read this one, but I didn't understand it. So I haven't read these 3, these 2, or these 2. So I've read most of everything on this shelf. When Devin and I got married, we had to consolidate our books. Not really consolidate, because he had the entire Ender's Game series, almost the entire Ender's Game series as well. And we had another duplicate set of Halo. So those are on a separate shelf in our bedroom. These ones are on display for use. This is my Halo 3 Master Chief helmet. When Halo 3 came out, my brother and I was in junior high, and my brother and I went halfsies on an Xbox 360. We got the Halo Legendary Edition, and it came with this helmet, and the helmet comes off, and the case that the game was in was inside. It's one of my very favorite decorations that I have, and I kept it. So I don't remember where this Chief was. I'm pretty sure this was also a Halo 3 figurine. This is the chip that Cortana lives in, and it used to light up, but the battery died. And Devin has had this necklace for a really long time. It's an energy sword. And this Game Boy. Devin made me this. This is what he used when he proposed to me. He put a Raspberry Pi inside and programmed Pokemon Fire Red version. And it was just a little game that I played, and I'm gonna get the program again and do a video of how amazing it is what he and our friend DJ did. He made the sprite look like me with my hat and my backpack, and the sprite look like him with his hair, and we battled our 3 favorite Pokemon, and at the end, it was like, I made you this Game Boy because of our mutual love of Pokemon, and so you can start your Pokemon journey again, and there's another journey that I want to take with you. It will last a lifetime, even an eternity. Laura Ann, will you marry me? And then it had yes and no, and so I hit yes, obviously. And it was absolutely incredible. Oh, it's one of my very favorite decorations that we have. And then we have Halsey's journal from the Halo Reach Legendary Edition launch, which was the first game that I really ever bought by myself when I was 17. We kind of lose the themes when we get down here. A lot of young adult fiction. The Lord of the Rings series, I've not read them. They are on the list. I really love the movies, and I want to read the books. The Me Before You series by Jojo Moyes is one of my very favorite series. I cried in every single book. I bawled at the end of this one, and I cried in the middle of this one, and I sobbed my eyes out on a plane. I'm going to insert a little video of that here. This book is killing me. It's so sad. It's so good. I'm sorry. I was on a plane coming home from Chicago with Devin and Jesse, and I was ugly crying. It was bad. This one was one of my very favorites as well, and some more youth fiction. These were interesting. The author is from Utah, which is cool. The Perks of Being a Wallflower was really good, and I liked the movie. And Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda, which is now Love, Simon. It's a movie. It was so good. It was so good. I haven't gotten to this one yet. It is by the same author as the Divergent series. I loved this book. I read it 2 years ago. The first book was awesome. The second book was like, oh man, like I really struggled to get through it. See, I'm not breathing well because I get really excited when I get to talk about my books. And then the third book, I had rented the last 2 from the library, and the third book I gave up about halfway through. I could not get through it. But the first book was really good. I haven't read The Circle yet. The Book Thief was amazing. I think I read that last year for the first time, and I cried and just sat there with my mouth gaping open. Trick of the Light is about a boy with anorexia, which is a different take, because usually it is a woman or a young female. This is kind of my mental health section. I heard this author speak at an Out of the Darkness walk in Chicago. This is a book about dermatillomania. I kind of hide that one, because obviously I hide my disorder from a lot of people. It's very interesting and informative. This is by Jamie Dworkowski, who is the founder of To Write Love on Her Arms, a couple poetry books from Button Poetry. Neil Hilborn, he did the poem OCD that went viral last year. Some Doctor Who books, Ready Player One. I liked the movie. I haven't read the book yet. And then the Gregor the Overlander series I loved when I was in elementary school. And I think I only got through the first two when I was younger, and then it just like became too hard and involved for my like 9-year-old brain. I don't know why. I just gave up on them. So I bought them all, and they are excellent books for all ages. Got a little Dalek. I don't know how to say it anymore. And a paper crane that one of my very best friends made. Way too many bookmarks. The ColourPop setting powder, because in my ColourPop No Filter foundation review, it just went everywhere, so now I'm just keeping it sitting up so it won't get tossed around inside my makeup bag. And this was a gift for Devin. It's a sonic screwdriver. It's from Doctor Who. And then down here are my classics, some school books. This one's by Orson Scott Card. I haven't read that one. I got partway through this one. I absolutely hate this book. This is the worst book I have ever read in my life. And I paid extra money to get the hardcover that didn't have Matt Damon's face on it. I hate this book. It is at least 78% F-bombs, and oh no, we're effed. Oh wait, but I'm a botanist and I can do electrical engineering. Oh, we're not effed anymore. Oh, we're effed. And like, it just dragged until the last 18 pages of the book, and then it picked up and then it was over. The worst book I've ever read. The movie, awesome. The book was shit. I've read most of these classics. A Wrinkle in Time was like an acid trip. I've never done acid, but that's what I imagine an acid trip would be like. I love Fahrenheit 451. Ray Bradbury is one of my favorite authors. He just lets words just tumble over him and tumble and tumble and tumble and tumble and build and build and build. I love his writing. I haven't gotten to this one yet. I liked this one in junior high. The Great Gatsby is... I really like it. A lot of people really hate it, but I really like it. 1984 is also one of my very favorite books ever. It was one of the first books that I read that had a cliffhanger with absolutely zero resolution, and the good guys didn't win or didn't overthrow anything. Like, it was one of the books that I had to sit down and process for about 20 minutes, and those are some of my favorite kind of books when they're over. I read Animal Farm. Was that earlier this year? I can't remember if it was at the end of last year or earlier this year. Kind of weird. Kind of interesting. Kind of very fitting for the current political climate. If you've not read it, please do. I haven't gotten to War of the Worlds yet, or Catcher in the Rye. I read Jane Eyre in high school. Othello was for my English class, as was The English Patient, which I didn't finish. I'm really bad at assigned reading. Like, I really... yeah, I'm really bad at assigned reading. It was good, I just fell behind. Pride and Prejudice? Here's my controversial opinion. This is definitely going to give me some dislikes on this video. I like Twilight more than I like Pride and Prejudice. I hate Mr. Darcy. He's an asshole the entire book. And then they're like, oh, but actually, we love each other, let's get married. And it's like, what the hell? You guys were total dicks to each other the entire time. And then you loved each other. You know, it was hyped up to me as being... Am I yelling? I'm sorry. It was hyped up to me as being, like, the greatest love story ever told. It's not a good love story, okay? It's more of a commentary on the political climate of the late 1700s, early 1800s. I don't know. And my favorite character in the book is everyone's least favorite character in the book. I really like her mom. Everybody hates her mom. I don't know. I don't know. Except for Miss, whatever the frick her name is. That she's another asshole. Miss Lady Catherine. Lady Catherine is the worst character ever. Disgrace was another book I read for my English lit class last semester, and it was really, really good. Very good. There is a rape that takes place in it, so it's a little triggering. It was a little triggering for me at the time, for reasons I do not care to discuss at this time, or ever. Our Kids. This was for my sociology class. I didn't finish it. Or did I? Was this the one that I finished? No, I didn't finish Our Kids. I finished the other one that isn't on the shelf for some reason. Miss Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. Another one that I didn't finish. I really suck at assigned reading. And then some other ones from my creative writing class and the literary journal from my school. All being held up by one of my Xbox One controllers. This came with the Halo 5 edition Xbox. I have two. I have the Master Chief one and the lock version. And this is the Xbox that my brother and I went halfsies on. It doesn't work anymore, but it is a collector's item. And one day I will find a place to put it. I have another small shelf of books in our bedroom, but I haven't really read any of them. They're just kind of there. My mom let me ransack one of her classrooms. She teaches ESL, and most of them were very high above ESL level. I don't know why they were all anyway, so she let me ransack her classroom. And so the more beat up books that are on this shelf are from her classroom, because I take very good care of my books. I don't let people borrow my books either. Like, you can borrow a book from me over my dead body. It's just as easy for you to go to the library and get it, or spend $4 on Amazon and have it sent to you, as it is for you to come over to my house and take my books. I just don't trust other people with my books. I realize that sounds very selfish, but, like, you have a prized possession, right? You love your game collection, or your makeup collection, or, you know, and then someone comes over and it's like, hey, can I borrow your Natasha Denona palette for the weekend? And you're like, bitch, that's a $285 palette. Like, no. Like, you can sit here in my house and read them. You can use it here. I'm not going to let you take it home because I don't know how you will treat my stuff away from where it belongs. Right? So it's not selfish. It's responsible. Read responsibly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my rant about books and my love of books. I absolutely adore reading. It's one of my very, very favorite things to do. Not when it's assigned, when I have to do it for class and then write a paper about it. But leisure reading is one of my very favorite things in the whole world. I hope you guys enjoyed this casual video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel before you go. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, let's